What's up everybody? So in this video, I want to do a reaction to some Stockholm stereotypes. I recently did a reaction video to Hampus Hedström, one of the few YouTubers here in Sweden that I actually watch. But I just had the pleasure of meeting some other Swedish YouTubers that actually work in the same building as me here in Stockholm, and they're called RMM Making Movies. And so I was checking out all of their videos, and they have some really funny videos. And they're just kind of on point with some of these Stockholm stereotypes. And since on this channel, I like to educate you guys on Sweden, I thought these were the perfect videos to react to, because that way you guys can be learning a little bit more about Sweden and the stereotypes and the different subcultures that they have here in Stockholm. And at the same time, it's really funny. So before I go any further, I want to give my own take on some of these stereotypes. And the first stereotype that kind of stands out to me, they didn't really make a video about it, and that is the Old Town in Stockholm. It's that island in the center of Stockholm. The stereotype for me is that it's very touristy. Yes, it's beautiful. It's my favorite spot in all of Stockholm to take pictures. You've got all of the old buildings and the colors like the oranges and the reds and the yellows. They've got the Nobel Prize Museum. They've got, they're close to the water on both sides of the Old Town. I think it's a very beautiful area, and you just hear a lot of people speaking different languages. There'll be huge groups of Asian tourists or people speaking English or German. That is the touristy area of Stockholm, and there's tourists all over the city. Stockholm's a very international city, but that is the must-see on a lot of people's to-do lists. So you'll see a lot of gift shops and those types of things in Gamla Stan, but I personally still love Gamla Stan, even though it's a touristy area. If you head north from Gamla Stan, you'll get into Östermalm or Vasastan, which are two pretty wealthy areas in Stockholm, and in the middle of Östermalm you have this square called Stureplan. Now Stureplan is one of the most posh areas in all of Stockholm, if not all of Sweden. There's a ton of fancy restaurants and clubs and those sorts of things, and they kind of have that stereotype of being very posh. And for some reason, a lot of my friends like to go to the clubs in Stureplan. Yes, they're a lot of fun, but just to think about the amount of money that I've spent at those clubs over the last year and a half. Actually, let's not think about that. That's very depressing to think about. But with that being said, let's take a look at RMM Making Movies impression of that Stureplan stereotype.
Hej och välkomna till Jonas testar. Idag ska vi testa Stureplan. För att få den maximala Stureplanskänslan så gäller det att passa in. Och hur gör man det? Jo, det gör man hos den lokala skräddaren. Sådär, då är vi redo. Tack så mycket. Varsågod. Ja, nu när kläderna är på så har jag ju gått och blivit sugen på lite mat. Och vad är egentligen man käkar på Stureplan? Det är ju såklart det dyraste. Skaldjur.
What is it that people eat in Stureplan? They eat the most expensive thing you can find, the shellfish. Now, I don't even like seafood that much, and it's funny because his reaction in this video, he ends up saying like, oh, I didn't even like it that much. I just got it because it's expensive. That's kind of the Stureplan mentality. But I'm not really into super expensive things. I mean, sure, it's fun to go out in Stureplan and have a good night. And it's fun to dress up. And, the people there are all good looking. And there's a lot of money. Sometimes I just want to chill out with my friends, with some normal people, and have some beers and just kick back, and without the whole posh lifestyle and that sort of thing. So now we're going to come a little bit closer to my neck of the woods and visit Södermalm. Now Södermalm is the island just south of Gamla Stan, and it's the biggest island in Stockholm, I believe. It's absolutely massive. And actually where I live is just a little bit south of Södermalm, so it's very easy for me to get to Södermalm, and I get that bigger city feel, but there's still a ton of great, amazing restaurants, amazing bars, but there's also a little bit of that hipster vibe and culture, which RMM Making Movies also does a very good job showing off that stereotype in this next video.
Hej och välkomna till Jonas testar. Idag ska vi testa Söder.
Nu går vi hem till Söder.
Här på Söder så klär man sig lite speciellt. Och om jag ska kunna testa på det här måste jag ju klä mig likadant. Så det ska vi gå och göra nu.
Notice how the first time he was out in Stureplan, he was getting fitted for a suit. This is just a little bit of a different vibe. Here he's shopping in a thrift shop.
Sådär. Då är vi redo att ge oss ut på en värld som ligger söder till. Ja, då har vi nu satt oss ner här på Söder och beställt in det som alla beställer in. Och det är ju såklart det vegetariska. Jag var lite småsugen på en burgare här och då tänker man ju en burgare innehåller kött. Men det gör den inte på Söder. Här innehåller den halloumi. Och till det här så kan man ju inte välja något annat än en kall rackare.
So far you can see a little bit of a difference between the Stureplan and the Södermalm. Stureplan's super fancy with the food and the clothes. Södermalm's definitely more chill. And I like to go out in Södermalm a lot personally because if you want cheap beer, there's a ton of great bars that have cheap beer. Whereas if you go out to Östermalm or those places that are north of Gamla Stan or even in Gamla Stan, you're gonna be paying a little bit more. That's where you'll find those $8 or $9 beers a lot of times, whereas in Söder, you can get beers for like $3 or $4 if you know where to go. But if you want to get outside of the city and experience something completely different, there's a vast variety of different suburbs in and around Stockholm. A lot of my friends come from the Täby area, which is known as one of the wealthier and more posh areas outside of Stockholm. And it's pretty apparent when I go up and visit them that people there are doing pretty well, but there are some areas outside of Stockholm that don't maybe have that same reputation for being posh and really super nice. And in this next clip, Jonas tests out going to one of those areas.
Idag ska vi testa orten. Innan vi sticker iväg och testar orten så måste vi ju såklart köpa lite kläder så att vi passar in. Så det ska vi gå och göra nu. I orten så, när man ska leta efter kläder, då ska man leta efter 3 grejer. Och de 3 grejerna är de här. 1, 2, 3. Ja, när man har de här 3 ränderna då blir man väldigt väl mottagen i orten.
Actually, growing up, my dad came from a German family, so we always loved to wear Adidas in America. If somebody in our family was wearing Nike, he'd be like, hey, what are you doing? You gotta rep the German brands. So growing up, I wore tons of Adidas.
Ja, sådär. Efter en väldigt spännande tunnelbaneresa så har vi nu kommit fram till orten. Och nu är vi i Hipster.
Länspolismästaren i Stockholm, Mats Löving, säger att de senaste veckorna har varit de mest prövande.
Mer än 2 veckor sedan upploppen startade i Stockholmsförorten Husby.
Vi ska bege oss till Husby nu, för som jag har...
Ja, precis som du säger så har det varit en hel del stenkast.
Så fort var 1000 sen skickar de in kravaller, de skickar in satsstyrkor.
Resterna av upploppen som började i Husby, sönderbrända och totalförstörda bilar.
Ja, enligt min research så är ju något man gör här i orten att vakta den. Så det tänkte jag gå och göra nu. Måste bara gå till en plats där man har bra utsikt. Ja, då har vi då kommit till den här bron och det här är en alldeles perfekt plats för att vakta orten. Här har man väldigt bra uppsyn över alla som kommer från alla olika håll. Så det här är helt perfekt. Ja, när man vaktar orten är det väldigt viktigt att markera att man faktiskt är väktare här. Och att det är man själv som bestämmer. Så därför har man benet så här gärna. För att markera och visa folk att här är jag. Ja, en vanlig fritidsaktivitet här i orten det är ju att spela fotboll. Och jag har träffat några killar här och vi tänkte dribbla lite nu. Men de hänger inte med i matchen. Ja, vems boll är det? I mål. Ja, från att vakta orten till att jobba och spela fotboll med Hassan och hans kompisar så har vi nu kommit till den sista biten som man måste göra i orten. Och det är såklart kebaben.
Oh. Now I can't really comment too much on this aspect of the video because I haven't gone myself to a lot of these areas that are considered the Orten or like the hood areas outside of Stockholm, but I have a lot of friends that have gone to these areas and they say that it's really not that bad. I mean, if you mind your own business and just stay out of trouble, it's nothing to really be concerned about. And I think that the news can make these places out to be a lot worse than they actually are. But with that being said, I can't really comment on it, but in this video, it doesn't look half bad. I mean, he's playing football, he's eating kebab. I mean, one of my favorite foods and one of my favorite pastimes. So, I mean, how bad can it really be if you got football and kebabs? I mean, just look at that.
Oj, oj, oj. En fantastisk god kebab i en fantastisk ort. Hela den här dagen har gett mig så mycket lycka. Så jag kan inte ge den här orten något annat än 5 av 5.